You got me tiptoeing around you like you're made of glass. Got an invincible fence letting everyone know not to trespass. But you're bound to break down, bound to lose, bound to get knocked right out of your boots when I use my witchcraft. You're playing it cool, bending all the rules, talking way too loud, and you're talking rude. You're playing a game, driving me insane. Your heart is back, and it's a fact, no turning back. You got me tiptoeing around you like you're made of glass. Got an invincible fence letting everyone know not to trespass. But you're bound to break down, bound to lose, bound to get knocked right out of your boots when I use my witchcraft. Got an invincible fence letting everyone know not to trespass. But you're bound to break down, bound to lose, bound to get knocked right out of your boots when I use my witchcraft. When I use my witchcraft. I got my moves, I got my song. When I turn my mojo on, I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling strong. It won't take long.
Eddie, the one and only. Eddie, you're now TikTok famous. What does it feel like? Do you even know what TikTok is?
Just about. It is very tight going, and you have to run a tight ship and try to do as much maintenance and repairs yourself as possible. But no matter what you do, you're never going to be a millionaire contract.
Four young men so full of life, leaving behind for a young wife. Four young men drinking from the bottle, say please ease off the throttle. My loving son, I'm forever sad. My only brother, my loving dad. You up there and the mess down here, I can't help but shed a tear. Four missed calls with no reply, four empty glasses sitting at the bar, four vacant seats at Sunday Mass, four idle seatbelts in the car, four bomb boxes.
Eddie, we're just outside Desert Martin today, or between Desert Martin and Tobermore. What's going on?
Hi, we're spreading slurry here at Sean Henry's, and the two outfits is actually here because ground's not that dry yet, and we're other people putting us off, and this is right decent dry ground here, sandy sort of ground, and we're fit to come here with the two outfits for it's a big enough job, and there's lanes heading in all directions, so you're always, you know, they're not both rolling out in the one direction, they're all...
Well, that's right, when you come into the yard you seen one pipe was going away out to the right, and the other pipe was going exactly the opposite direction.
Yes,
but we followed the pipe out that Andrew's on, and the last time we caught up with you at Slurry, it's the same tractor on the same set of shoes, but there's one very noticeable difference.
There is.
There's a different dribble bar on there.
There is, we changed the dribble bar to a 12-metre Agquip.
Your other one was a 10?
Our other Agquip was a 10, yes.
But this was a direct replacement 12 for a 12 double macerator. You actually said coming into the field there walking, this was your first time seeing it.
That's right.
So it can't be very old.
No, it's not.
Well, what's the reports back?
Well, I asked at the very start how it was doing. It just seems to be doing well, and I've heard no complaints since, so I'm taking that as very positive.
I think that's the best way to do that. But also, Eddie, you now have your own nurse tank system that you
Yes.
built. I mean, historically, you worked with a field tanker, and you were always booming over the hedge into an open top tanker.
Yes.
And you kept with a nurse tanker type job with the pipes for a long time when you started in the pipe. But then you guys got the welders out
We did.
and you modified and made your own nurse tank.
That's right, we modified a shipping container and made it that it lifted up and down and sits flat in the field, and it works very, very well. We're very pleased with it.
And you painted it blue,
We did.
but all your tractors are green.
But the 2 Heron Slurry tankers are blue, so
How long have you had those now, Eddie?
the 2 Heron Slurry tankers, would this be their 3rd year? I think.
And I think it's fair to say you absolutely love them, obviously so much that that's the colour you painted the nurse tank.
That's right.
Wally will be after you for royalties.
Tough.
You like the big herons?
We do, we love them, aye.
What are you going to do but going forward? Because I see you still have a couple of your older Ruskin 2600s there.
Do you want them?
No. But you're going to have to make decisions, Eddie, this year, because you're going to have to look at a dribble bar system on some of your tankers, possibly.
We're going to have to do something, whether we just spread it all over the nurse tank and the pipe, but personally I think we would need something that you could, usually when we're in between silage, Robert usually has things to do with the digger and Andrew's sowing fertiliser and things like that, and I think if you had a tanker with a top fill hatch and a dribble bar on her, you could maybe send some of the other men one to spread and 2 to ferry to him and maybe work that road.
It's just hard to know.
That's just early days yet.
But you don't have that much longer to get it sorted.
We don't, but you also have to get the finances sorted too. You have to see the money.
What are you trying to say, Eddie, that you'll never be a millionaire contracting?
Oh, I've said that before. And I still stand by that. Like.
So, Andrew and Robert are both on the dribble bars. What's Robert dribble barring with?
The 6430 and a 10-metre Agquip.
So he's still in the 6430, and then it's the.
He loves the wee tractor.
But you have a lot more newer tractors have popped about in the last couple of years too, Eddie. Like there's a few hours about now.
Well, we're trying, and I don't know whether we'll be fit to keep it up or not, to buy one new tractor every year. And at present we're running 7 tractors. So if you buy a new one every year, it means the tractors finish up 7-year-old before you're getting rid of them. And at that stage they're probably going round the clock the second time.
So what's the latest one that you've changed?
Well, there's talk of another 145 coming.
Is there? Because that's wonderful, hey. Funny that. Think will it be here in time for the silage?
No, there is a big waiting list.
Yep. John Deere in particular, I can't speak for other brands and manufacturers, but as we're making this video, I think if it's a Waterloo made tractor ordered new today, it's almost a year. And I think if it's a brand new, not one to be had, been made in Mannheim, Germany, I think it could be October at this stage. Something like that. Now, look, that could change, you know, but as we're making this video, I think that's roughly this. And like, John Deere make a lot of tractors, so there's a lot of people buying. There's a lot of people buying them around the world, whatever it's in that. Well, you're running both 155s and 145s. Do you see any real difference between them?
Well, you'll not see the difference. There is supposed to be differences in there, but they're certainly not visible.
And what about drivers? Do you get drivers saying, oh, I want the 155 ahead of a 145, or not really?
Not really, because, well, last year the 145 was just new and she was on the 2 mowers. And it's really only the one man. Well, sometimes a different driver, but it was always whoever was going to be mowing was mowing her, and that was...
Yeah. Now, you mentioned mowers there. When we last had our sit down round the table, just about this time last year as we were heading into lockdown, you said you couldn't afford to change the big M. You said that there wasn't enough of money contracting, so I'm assuming, based by looking in your shade earlier on there, that you must have made a few quid last year, Eddie.
Well, we had the harvester paid, and we're happy enough that she's good enough to do another few years, so we thought it was our chance to change the big M.
Maybe you didn't just change the big M. You kind of bypassed a few generations, Eddie.
Well, we had the last one 10 seasons, and if we're going to keep this one 10 seasons, we sort of had to go near the top of the 3, because by the time we're changing again, she'll be getting obsolete enough.
When we were out, it was actually on this farm last year with the fast track when we did the long draw.
That's right.
It was on this farm. Robert, he was showing off his skills and the 435. So you know, you'd upgrade it from we last did a silage video. You had the 435 was. So you're changing a wee bit of plan every year, Eddie.
Well, it helps the income tax situation.
Well, you see, that's why he's never going to be a millionaire. He knows how to work it. Well, from the pumping system, you know, you keep it all pretty much Dota pump orientated. With James O'Kane and that and Agquip, you've never been tempted to try the Boyer pump, because I know he's the agent for those, or do you just prefer the Dota? Or?
The Dota has done very well for us, and I'm sure if a thing's pleasing, why change?
They're not perfect, but they're good.
But they're nothing perfect.
And you run 3 Dotas, am I right in saying, Eddie? 2 for direct pumping and then 1 mounted on the...
That's right.
DCA arms, because, you know, we chat to different guys. You've big James there at Mackay.
Yes.
He swears by the DCA arms. New guys are working in the nurse tank situation, and we now see guys doing both.
I will. Wild cost to doing both.
Yep.
Since we made that nurse tank, it's very easy shift it. Very handy. You can be shifted and sort of into the next field and sitting waiting in the pipe coming like with no bother, and it works very well, and I do think it's a lot faster than the DCA arms.
Well, I think I can't speak for everybody's because they're all different sizes, but you can practically dump off 2 of the big tankers whenever it's on the deck.
2 of the big ones and 1 of the wee ones if she's sitting nice and level.
So, like, you know, you're keeping guys ferrying.
Oh yeah, right. And it also means unless you haven't enough of tankers drawn, or you're in wee small fields, the man's spreading steady, like. You know, and if you're spreading steady, you have to be spreading more stuff than if you have to stop and wait till one tanker pulls out and another latches in, like.
Yeah. Well, look, Eddie, it's been great to catch up with you again. Hopefully, it's a start. It's going to be a good season of the silage. I know last year was a reasonable good year. It certainly started off very good. Got a little bit tricky towards the end of the season.
But we will have worse ones.
Well, agree, and hopefully these restrictions get ended up now. And it's hard to believe a year ago we sat down in your shade around the table and we had a wee chat, not knowing, and to believe that a full year later would be well, we actually weren't under restrictions then. At that point, restrictions, we were just coming into them.
We're just at the stage of sanitizers.
We were just sanitising hands. I tell you what, there's been some well sanitised hands in the last year. But look, Eddie, it's great to see you. It's great to see the Cubs pushing on as always, and the dribble bar does look good. It looks neat is probably the way to describe it from my perspective, standing here looking over at it.
Aye, and I think those new macerators of Agquips are very easy opened if you do get foreign material, plastic, bale net or that sort of rubbish.
Does exist there.
It does exist and you will come on it, and if it's easy opened and cleaned out, well, it's a lot better than 2 hours or 3 hours work. Like.
Well look, we will go. Great to catch up with you, and hopefully we'll get a wee lap out at the silage and get a look at this big M. There's definitely, speaking from personal experiences, when we think back to the Mark 1, times have changed. Anyway, good man Eddie, thank you.
You still have nightmares about that?
Oh, you're right.